guys, how's it going? You're watching The Hungry Handgunner. I'm Nick. Today I'm going to talk about something that's probably going to upset a few people. And this is not a judgment call. This is not me poking fun at you or anything like that. I don't know your situation. I can see your screen names and stuff when you comment. I don't know anything about you other than that. This is going to be talking to the firearms community at large, and it is a somewhat touchy subject because it focuses on improving ourselves, and I'm not immune from my own advice. So there seems to be a pervasive attitude with some gun owners that carrying a firearm is the be-all, end-all for self-defense. It is a last-ditch tool, in my opinion, to preserve the life of yourself, your family, or innocence that you could reasonably be expected to take care of. So we're not going to delve into all that, the legal aspect of all that. What I do want to focus on is not every self-defense situation is going to justify a firearm. In my state where I live, you have to be in fear for your life or grievous bodily harm. In other words, somebody flipping you off in traffic and then that escalating to them shoving you, you're going to have to prove that you were in fear of death or grievous bodily harm. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just telling you what the law says here, and my YouTube expert. Major air quotes on that. That's sarcasm before anybody goes too far with that. My analysis of that. So there are situations in which an individual may need to defend themselves, but the justification for lethal force just isn't there. So what do? You have non-lethal options. The baton that I see a lot of people advocating, I wouldn't go that route. Now, just a quick throwback to the part of my military service that is very rarely relevant here. The use of Force Continuum, there are varying degrees of force that are justified in different situations. You have non-lethal, lethal force, or deadly force as the Navy called it, and then you have things that are considered intermediate weapons. These are things that could be non-lethal or could very well be deadly. There are two, as of my time in the service, that were considered intermediate weapons. A military working dog, or police dog if you will, and a baton, because both of those things could be non-lethal or deadly depending on how things go with the baton, where you hit them. So I urge people to stay away from the baton. They're not as effective of a self-defense tool as a lot of people think they are. And remember that any melee weapon like that, any weapon in general for that matter, has the potential to be used against you if you don't have good weapons retention training and just good skills in using that to begin with. And I can tell you, baton is it's scary. They hurt and they're very effective. And the last thing I would want is to pull one out to protect myself and have the guy on meth grab it and go to work on me. That would not bode well for me at all. So that brings us to pepper spray, or OC spray. Again, I can tell you firsthand experience from a very rare occurrence where the military service is relevant to the civilian side of things. OC spray sucks. I will tell you right now, it's terrible. I never want to go through that again if I can help it. It is not a good thing. There are people that are, for some reason, so lucky that they are immune to it. I saw that when I was getting certified with it. There were people that took a full-on spray to the face and were just like, okay, when does this start? The rest of us couldn't see. We were crying. We wanted to be put out of our misery. It sucked. So the thing with OC spray, it's a little breezy out here right now. I'm a little chilly. That's why I'm fidgeting a little bit. Sorry. When you use a spray, particularly one that kind of sprays out in a mist or a cone versus a single stream, both of them can be affected by wind. The one that sprays out in a wide mist or cone is going to be more influenced by the breeze and the wind. So if I'm in a situation and I bring it out and I go to tag somebody with it and that wind is coming back towards me, I'm getting it on me. On the law enforcement side of things, or military law enforcement side of things, you pretty much assume if you're getting the spray out, you're getting it on you, because you then have to take that person into custody and get it on you, wipe your face, whatever. A good study in how COVID-19 spreads. But the civilian side of things is going to be a little bit different, because I don't necessarily have to go hands-on with that person. If I'm out and a guy gets belligerent and starts a fight with me and I need to break contact and I hit him with some spray, I'm not then expected to take him into custody, to put hands on and get cuffs on him. I can let it go. If that's enough and he breaks contact and leaves me alone, chances are he will, or at a minimum that I'll be able to use his incapacitation to get away on my own. That's the end of it. There is no expectation that I have to do anything beyond that point if I don't have to. So if he breaks contact and leaves me alone after getting tagged with the spray, that's the end of it. Granted, if he gets hit with the spray and he's either immune to it or just blindly charges you, you're going hands-on whether you like it or not. So I would urge people to, at a minimum, if you pick up some spray, a lot of these companies have an inert training one that's normally just water. Get that and at least learn how it patterns, if you will, what it looks like coming out, how far you can reasonably affect to use that, and get an idea of what you're going to be dealing with if you get hit with it yourself due to breeze or having to go hands-on. So the easiest way to expose yourself to it without taking a full-on spray, take a rag, spray some on it. I would urge you to not do this alone in case you can't see. for most of us get hit with it, you cannot see. So have a video, make a funny, or have a friend take a video, make a funny thing for Facebook, I don't care. But spray some on a rag, kind of wipe it across your face. You're not getting a full-on spray with it, but you're getting exposed to it. You're getting an idea of what that feels like. I think that's important. The last thing I would want is for somebody to go out and use some spray, end up getting it on them, panic because they've never felt that before, and then lose that fight if it continues. So get out there. If you're going to carry it, don't just buy it and treat it like a good luck charm and throw it in your pocket or purse or whatever. Need to kind of figure out what that stuff is and how it works. This is a nice segue to my next point. If you don't have spray, or even if you do and the fight goes on after the spray comes out, no matter how many Bruce Lee movies or Chuck Norris movies you've watched, that doesn't make you a good fighter. I am not a good fighter. I've taken martial arts for years and years in a couple different disciplines. I have won every single fight that I never got in. I've won some that I've got in and lost a couple that I got in. Fights are unpredictable things. Best case scenario, you win, you go home, yay, and then you feel like an idiot. The older you get, the more you feel like an idiot after the fact. Worst case scenario, you could be hurt or killed, or you could injure the other party or kill the other party to the extent that you are now legally liable. These are not the good old days where you take somebody out behind wherever and duke things out and everything's hunky-dory. No, now the legal system is frequently brought into play for fist fights, so stay out of them. As hard as it is sometimes, it seems like the older you get, the less your desire to get in a fight is. So to all the guys in their young 20s that are now where I used to be, it's not worth it. I don't care what it is. Unless you have to get in one, just walk away. But for the rest of us, having these skills, the empty-handed skills as they're referred to, I think even having a baseline is a good idea. I think even if you get out, take some kickboxing classes, I mean, you don't have to go super hardcore into this. You don't have to be John Wick. But learning what it feels like to take a hit, learning how to throw a punch, learning how to throw some kicks, some grappling skills, I don't think their importance can be overstated. There may be situations that you find yourself in where deadly force is not warranted, you can't get to your spray, or deadly force is warranted and you don't have time to get to your firearm, that you need to use your hands. I could give you example after example. If you want to see some of those examples, check out Active Self-Protection with John Correa. You're going to see all sorts of things, and it's very eye-opening and sobering a lot of time, because if you put yourself in the good guy's shoes, sometimes you don't have the reaction time to do anything. I don't care who you are. So kind of stacking that self-defense toolbox with a variety of options is going to help you, I think. And again, I'm not a lawyer, but if I had to go to court and defend a use of force shooting, I would much rather be able to say I had these other options at my available to me, and I didn't use them because X, Y, Z. That at least shows that you were prepared to resolve a conflict with something less than a bullet. And I think it shows that you've thought things out. You were as prepared as you could reasonably be expected to be. So again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how well that would work. Those are just my thoughts on it. Nothing in here is legal advice, and whatever other legal disclaimer I have to use if any of you guys decide to say, well, he said no. Do your own research, your own state laws, local laws, and go from there. Consult an attorney. That's a get a lot of Facebook lawyers and YouTube lawyers. Consult an actual attorney if you really want some better guidance on that. So I would urge you, get out and get some hand-to-hand combatives training. It can be a lot of fun. Don't take yourself too seriously. Nobody's going to expect you to go in there and, be kicking boards at 8 feet in the air when you first go in. So whatever martial arts discipline that you choose to look at, I would make sure that your instructor is reputable. A good martial arts instructor will actually end up teaching you more ways to get out of a fight than how to get in a fight. What you think on that for a second? That's been my experience. I've been very fortunate to have some good instructors over the years. They kind of instilled that spirit of only fight when you have to, and kind of check your ego at the door. So that's going to be it for today. Just some thoughts on giving some levels to your self-defense lineup just to kind of balance things out. So stay safe. I realize right now is not really the best time to go start martial arts or physical training, but be thinking about it. You can definitely do some physical conditioning on your own, which would help all of us, I think. Some of us more than others. And that will definitely make learning a combative skill a little bit easier. Do some research on OC spray. I'm not trying to tell you that you absolutely have to have it. I think it's just a good idea. And check your local laws on that as well. And if you've got a firearm, I'm going to say again, get your live fire in if you can. If you can't get your live fire in, get some dry fire practice. Work on your draw to first shot times, and just familiarizing yourself with your firearm, where you carry it, etc. Be safe. For your dry fire practice, make sure that gun's unloaded. I'll see you around.